Well, good day. And today's little chat, well, this evening or whenever, my chat for today is about classic, well, a classic movie, TV series, and then the remake. And we are talking about the famous series of films and series and films again, The Planet of the Apes. And we're going to start off with the original first one with Charlton Heston, the made in 1968. This originally came out, and Roddy McDowall starred in the legendary science fiction masterpiece. Astronaut Taylor, that's Heston, crash land on a deserted planet ruled by apes. Soon Taylor finds himself among the hunted, his life in the hands of a beleaguered chimpanzees scientist. That's McDowell, winning of the hostage. It won the some on the back, if you can see, because what happened, he escaped and he found, and at the end he finds the Statue of Liberty, and that's our first one. So then they decided they want to make a second one. So this is like the continue of it, Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Now, in the account sequel of Planet of the Apes, another astronaut, James something, crashed through the time barrier searching for the missing Taylor. During the rescue mission led to a subterranean city where mutants, humans who prefer mind control, worship him a weapon continuing to destroy the entire planet. So what it is, there's a zone where the apes are, scared of, and in the end they decide that they're going to go and investigate this. But at the start, Taylor and the woman who he's with go through the deserted zone, and Taylor falls into and he becomes the prisoner of these mutant humans, what are survivors from the war, and the apes find the place, and there is what his name, Taylor's friend, I forget, don't say his name, and in the end of that, they find Taylor and they start fighting each other, Taylor and his friend, and it ends up with them blowing up the planet. So, for the third sequel in this saga, called The Escape from the Planet of the Apes. So, three chimps find the ship what Tyler crash landed in the sea, and they got it out and they helped it to go back in time for the time barrier, and they end up back on Earth in the 70s. So Roddy McDowall and Ken Hunting resume their roles from the original Planet of the Apes. In the third chapter of the Apes saga, two intelligence symbols from the future, Cornelius and Zera, travel to the present day Earth. They become in some situation where wined and dined and treated like celebrities until a high level plot force them to run for their lives, because Cornelius's wife is pregnant, and the humans are scared because they can talk and that, and they don't want this. They want to kill the chimps, so to stop there. But in the end, the chimp escapes, and he ends up. They swap the chimp for a real ape, chimpanzees, and they kill them all. But the real chimp ends up in a circus, and this is where that one ends. And then we come to the conquest of the planet of the apes. So this is where the apes are all prisoners, because what happened in the 4th episode of the legendary ape saga, and Roddy McDowell and Ricardo Montes, the time is near the future. Apes have subdued cats and dogs, because what happened, the disease killed the cats and dogs. And what they've done is having the apes as household pets and replacing them servants as personal assistants until they control mistreated one of advanced into from the future, Caesar. So then Caesar leads a spectacular revolt and marks the beginning of the ape revolution, because his friend who's looking after him gets captured, and Caesar gets mixed in with all the other apes, and the head of the organisation buys him and thinks he's not intelligent and that, and he starts the revolution of that. So that's our next one. And for our final one of this saga, the final confront, the 5th and last chapter to the legendary saga, is set in 2670 AD, after the revolution brought about by Caesar. The world is now in disarray place. Now men and apes try to live together in an uneasy humanity, with apes having the egos over men as leaders. When a smoking cloud of is somewhere, but there is hope for a new beginning for man and ape. So this is sort of like going on from where Caesar and that, and one of the they find this building where there's apes and that, and all hell, there's like a war and that, and this is where the end of the saga, and you think the end of the ape story. So for next, we come a complete series of Planet of the Apes. So this was made in this TV series, only 14 episodes, I do believe, based on the endless popularity success of Planet of the Apes movies. And the 1974 series has become a true cult classic. Now all 14 episodes, including this Liberty, which never aired during the show's original run, having been cancelled, and are available to own for the first time. So what happens? This is set in the future, after there's spacecraft travelling through the time warp. 2 astronauts navigate from 1981, crash land back onto Earth in the year 3085, the time where intelligent apes rule the rule the humans, having been reduced to servants and pets. They're captured by the apes and sentenced to death. They are saved by a chimp named Galen. But now all three are on the run, trying to keep one step ahead of the guerrilla army led by General Orkhan, who is determined to kill the renegades. So this is where they are escaped. So this was a good series, but it was cancelled after 14 episodes. So then, in what year? In late, I think it was the 80s or 90s, they decided to remake the Planet of the Apes. So the year is 2029. Intelligent mission are regarded, and a chimp pilot from a spaceship in deep space. On one such mission, the chimp loses contact and vanishes from the radar. Fearless astronaut Leo Davis lands a rescue mission and follows a manufactured land in the jungle-like planet, not unlike Earth. To Leo's astronaut speaking English-speaking apes and provide humans habitats, the planet follows his capture by the apes and subject escape. Leo sends a small band of dismayed humans and empaths and an ape in an attempt to resolve contact with the owner, but his final chapter follows an unexpected discovery. Armed with this new information, Leo lands a rebellion against the overpowered apes, forcing that will resume in freedom and complete. And what happens? He gets back to Earth only to find out it's already run by apes. But excuse me, this wasn't a very good remake of it. So it was all right, but I wouldn't put it in one of the top ratings of the Planet of the Apes movies. So for our next, they decided that they was going to redo it with The Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So this goes in a different direction. Our great discovery will become the world's greatest threat when a scientist on a version of a medical breakthrough begins tests on a young chimp called Caesar. But when the chimp develops human-like intelligence and emotion, an epic battle to ensure that to distance his domination species on the planet. So what happens? Trying out this cure for some mental health, and they give it. He gives it to his father, and it helps him. And Caesar is escapes, and they take him and they give him it, and he starts to get human. Now this one is the better one to the original remake of Planet of the Apes. So this is The Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and the makeup is better. So for our next one, continuing the saga, The War for the Planet of the Apes. So when Caesar is, because they've gone to the forest and that. In the Felling Conquest chapter of Planet of the Apes saga, Caesar and the rest of the ants are forced into the dangerous conquest with an army of humans led by a ruthless commander. But after suffering unmanageable losses, Caesar resolves to advance his kind pit him against the commander for the final showdown that will denounce the future of the planet. So what happens? It ends up with a battle for superiority, and they start to fight. So for next one is the dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So this is in this thrilling next chapter of the Planet of the Apes. It is 2026 and the humans have been pushed to near extinction by a deadly virus. When a group of survivors decide to find a new source of power, travelling into the woods of near San Francisco. So the woods of San Francisco is where all the apes are living. They discover the highly evolved community of intelligent apes led by Caesar. The two species from a action and peace agreement, but disputes grow and the group find themselves hunted towards an all-out war. So what happens? One of the apes decides that he's going to have a take on the humans and that to, cause trouble with the to stop this sign. So for our final one, at the moment, I don't know if they're going to do any more, is the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So this is the pictures of it and the back. And this is the generation in the future follows Caesar's reign, and the apes are living humans as the dominated species, and humans are living in the shadows. As a new triumph, the ape leader builds his empire. One human ape undertakes a heroic journey that will cause a horrified journey. A young ape undertakes a horrific journey that will cause him a question the past and making a choice that will divide the future of the apes and the humans. Oh, that's it. So this one ape is, all out to keep everything, and this one chimpanzee is out to find the truth, and following in Caesar's reign of apes and that, and all that war and that, and the woman human who can speak, and she finds a human settlement in the end. So at the moment, this is like the final chapter called The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So we don't know if there's going to be any more. So this is my little trip through the history of Planet of the Apes. The original movies, the TV series, and the remake movies, the remake of Planet of the Apes, and then the recreation of the ape movies, what this time was more better because they did CGI and that, and they made the apes look real. So this is the end of my trip through the Planet of the Apes, and I hope you enjoy this trip down the memories of the classic Planet of the Apes and the new Planet of the Apes. And I'll wish you a farewell for now. And I hope you join me again for further chats and adventures with my channel. And I'll say farewell for now. And look after yourself. And I'll say goodbye and good luck.